Have you ever held a small metal screw, a plastic zipper, or a simple light-emitting diode bulb in your hand and wondered, how on earth was this made for only 2 cents? If you try to buy the raw metal or plastic in your own country, it will cost you 5 times more than the finished product imported from China. How is this physically possible? Many people in the West assume the answer is simple, that it must be sweatshops or heavy government subsidies. But the real answer is far more fascinating and complex. It has to be because even with low wages, the cost of factories, rent, management, and shipping should make these prices impossible. The real secret of China's impossibly low prices lies in a unique, highly decentralized economic system known as the village factory economy, and the incredible concept of one county, one industry. Let us dive into how this system actually works on the ground. To understand this economy, you have to throw away your idea of what a factory looks like. In the West, a factory is usually a massive building in an industrial park, far away from where people live. But in suburban and rural China, manufacturing is woven directly into the fabric of daily life. In places like Zhejiang, Guangdong, and Jiangsu provinces, you will find entire towns and villages where every single household is a factory. We are not talking about a few scattered workshops. We are talking about thousands of families living on the same streets, all producing the exact same tiny component. For example, there is a town where almost every family makes nothing but toothbrush bristles. There is another village where everyone produces custom copper nuts. Because they are all concentrated in one tiny geographical area, the local supply chain is measured in meters, not miles. If a factory needs raw wire, they do not call a logistics company. They walk next door to their neighbor, buy a spool of wire, and carry it back on their shoulders. The transportation cost between the steps of production is literally zero. This leads to the second major secret of the village factory, which is the complete absence of corporate overhead. In a traditional manufacturing business, a huge portion of the product cost goes to paying for things that have nothing to do with the product itself. You have to pay for industrial land, rent, office buildings, security guards, human resource departments, and corporate managers. The village factory eliminates almost all of this. Most of these workshops are located in self-built houses. These are multi-story homes built by the villagers on their own land. The family lives on the top 2 floors, and the ground floor or the backyard is converted into a workshop. They do not pay a single dollar in rent. The factory workers are not strangers hired from other cities. They are the family members themselves. The mother runs the machine, the father manages the raw materials, and the grandfather packs the finished goods. There are no human resource departments, no managers to pay, and no office rent. Every single cent of the cost goes directly into the raw material and the electricity to run the machine. But what truly drives the prices down to an impossible level is the unique mindset of these family operators. Many of these business owners are farmers turned manufacturers. A generation ago, their families lived off the land, growing rice or vegetables. For them, agricultural work is incredibly hard, physically exhausting, and highly unpredictable. When industrial machinery became cheap and accessible, they realized they could buy a single, second-hand injection molding machine or a metal stamping press, place it in their yard, and start producing simple plastic or metal parts. Their pricing logic is entirely different from a Western corporation. A corporation needs to calculate return on investment, machinery depreciation, and shareholder dividends. A village family does not think this way. Their calculation is simple. They look at how much they would earn by farming the land for a month, which might be a few $100s. If running a machine in their backyard for a month earns them slightly more than farming, they are completely satisfied. They do not need to make a massive profit on each item. If they earn half a cent of profit on a screw and they produce 50,000 screws a day, they are happy. They are not trying to build a global empire. They are just trying to live a slightly more comfortable life than their ancestors. Another incredible advantage of this village economy is its extreme flexibility, what some people call swarm intelligence. If you go to a large, modern factory and ask them to produce 10,000 custom metal brackets in 3 days, they will say no. Their production lines are scheduled weeks in advance, and changing the setup for a small order is too expensive. But in a manufacturing village, if a local trader receives a sudden, massive order from a foreign buyer, he does not panic. He walks down the street and talks to his neighbors, his cousins, and his friends. Within an hour, 10 different family workshops are running the exact same mold on their machines. By the next morning, they have produced the entire order. When the demand drops, these workshops simply turn off their machines and go back to their daily lives or tend to their gardens. They do not have to pay idle workers or maintain empty factories. This means the supply chain is highly elastic. It can scale up to massive volumes in 48 hours and scale down to zero without any financial penalty. Now you might ask, if these village factories are so cheap and efficient, why can we not just buy from them directly online? Why do we still see higher prices on websites like Alibaba? The truth is, these village factories are completely disconnected from the international market. The owners do not speak a word of English. They do not know what Skype or WhatsApp is. They do not have corporate email addresses, and they do not accept international wire transfers or credit cards. They only accept Chinese yuan cash or local mobile payments. Their entire business is conducted in local dialects through face-to-face conversations or local WeChat groups. They do not know how to handle customs clearance, international shipping, or foreign product certifications. They rely entirely on domestic trading companies and local sourcing agents who physically travel to these villages, buy the goods in cash, consolidate them, and handle the export process. So when you see a super cheap product from China, you are not just looking at cheap labor. You are looking at a highly evolved, deeply integrated network of family-run micro-businesses. It is an economic ecosystem that has stripped away every single unnecessary cost, from rent and management to transportation and marketing. It is a system built on family labor, local trust, and a humble desire to live a slightly better life. This village factory economy is the true hidden engine behind the impossibly low prices of Chinese manufacturing. And it is something that cannot be easily replicated anywhere else in the world.